Our grandparents knew what it meant to be a man, and not because someone told them, but it was just understood back then. I think our parents might have questioned some of that, but they still had a framework and some type of blueprint to follow or rebel against. Us guys today really are not sure what that question even is anymore. There used to be a script for masculinity. Maybe not a perfect script, but sometimes toxic, often limiting, but it was still there. Graduate, get a job, support a family, be the provider, be strong, don't cry, fix things, lead. And the script is completely changed now as the world is completely changed, and good riddance to some of it, but the parts about emotional suppression, about dominance, about treating women as less than, those probably needed to die. But we tore down the old model without building a new one completely. So now young men are just wandering around, trying to figure out what masculinity even means when all the old definitions are called toxic, even the ones that were good. Traditional male traits like competitiveness, physical strength, provision used to be valued, and now they're suspect. Maybe oppressive, definitely problematic. Like when a game nerfs a character class so hard it just becomes unplayable. The old build doesn't work and no one told you what the new build should be. So I guess we're just left to figure it out. So we just exist in this uncertain space where we're not sure what we're supposed to be. But what makes it confusing is the messages about masculinity are completely contradictory. Be strong but not too strong. That's toxic. Be emotional but not too emotional. That's weak. Be successful but not too ambitious. That's privileged. Be confident but not too confident. That's arrogant. Take initiative but not too much. That's just aggressive. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. Every trait exists in this narrow acceptable range that nobody really defines clearly, and we're supposed to intuit where the line is, and the line moves depending on who's judging. Society still expects men to be providers financially, and dating markets reward high earners, but we're also supposed to be okay with women out earning you. So both are fine individually, but the mixed message is confusing. Be successful enough to provide, but don't care about providing. Value your career but don't make it your identity. Like, which one is it? Working out is good, being fit is attractive, being too muscular is compensating for something. Caring about your physique is vain. Unless you don't care about it, then you've let yourself go. Imagine playing a game where the victory conditions change mid-match and no one tells you. That's modern masculinity. You're playing but you don't know what winning looks like. And as we know, like, male loneliness has hit crisis levels and nobody's really talking about why. Men used to build friendships through shared activity, sports leagues, work, bars, churches, community groups, and those spaces are disappearing or have become unwelcoming. Male-only spaces are increasingly seen as problematic, but men haven't learned how to form deep friendships and mixed spaces that replace them. We're told men need to open up emotionally, be vulnerable, share feelings, and that's true 100%. But when men do this, it's often not well received. Women say they want emotional men until they get one, and then that vulnerability reads as weakness. And I'm not blaming women, it's a complicated issue, but the disconnect is real. Male friends often aren't equipped to handle emotional vulnerability either. A lot of us were not taught how, and so opening up can feel awkward or unwelcome all around, and I see that disconnect with our generation the most. Adult male friendship formation has collapsed as well. Like, after college, where do you even meet other people? Work is professional and hobbies are solitary. Apps for making friends feels like desperation. So men are just lonely and isolated, and even people in college, but also told that their loneliness is their own fault for not being vulnerable enough. It's like games that like to push multiplayer content, but you have no one to play with. Like, you need a group to play the game, but the game offers no way to form one, so you just don't play. And whether people like it or not, men are still judged heavily on success, but success itself has become very complicated today. Traditional male success, so like career achievement, financial stability, status, it's now framed as privilege rather than accomplishment for a lot of people. Like, you didn't earn it, you just benefited from systems. And there's people who say this. There's truth to systemic advantages, but it invalidates individual effort in ways that feel insulting when you've actually worked hard. Being ambitious as a man can carry guilt now. Taking opportunities from others, your success is someone else's oppression. This creates like this weird state where you're still expected to be successful, but might feel bad about wanting it. And male competitiveness used to be channeled into sports, business, achievement. I mean, it still is, but now competition itself is usually questioned, like on a normal basis. Like, is it healthy or toxic? It just depends who you ask. But the competitive drive doesn't disappear just because the culture says it should. So it goes underground or gets suppressed, and that can create frustration for us. And now, you know, for that elephant in the room that we've talked about on this channel is about dating. So dating as a modern man is its own special hell that previous generations did not experience. And apps created dynamics where average men are essentially invisible and all attention goes to the top percentage. And this isn't whining, it's literally just statistics. And men are still expected to initiate, plan, pay, but doing so can be seen as entitled. The rules for pursuit exist in a gray area that's easy to violate unknowingly. So how are men supposed to meet other women? And you can't approach strangers, that's creepy. You can't ask out coworkers, that's harassment. You can't use dating apps effectively, so these are all broken. The socially acceptable ways to pursue romantic connection have narrowed down dramatically, while the expectation that men pursue hasn't changed. So dating just requires performing a specific version of masculinity that's confident but it's not arrogant, interested but not needy, and successful but not status focused, and it can be an exhausting theater performance for people. Many men are just opting out entirely, like we talked in my last video about this. Not from anger, but from exhaustion with a game that feels unwinnable. So what does it mean to be a man today? Honestly, I'm still figuring that out. I know what it's not. It's not the old toxic masculinity that harmed everyone, including men themselves. And it's not dominance or suppression or treating anyone as less than. But what it is remains unclear, and that might be up to you to figure out. And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe modern masculinity is about finding your own definition rather than following a preset script. Be strong where it matters to you. Be vulnerable where it feels right. And compete in arenas you care about. Build friendships that work for you. Define success on your terms. It is a free world after all. But that individual path doesn't solve the loneliness, and it doesn't create community, and it doesn't answer what masculinity means collectively when we all define it individually. Like how every player builds their character differently. There's no meta, just individual choices that may or may not work. So I don't have the answers here, and this isn't a solution video, it's just an observation. Being a man in 2025 feels fundamentally different than any previous generation. More freedom in some ways, but more confusion in others, and more isolation definitely. The old models were broken completely, but we're living in the gap between what was torn down and what hasn't been built yet. Maybe that's where we have to start, acknowledging that the confusion is real, the loneliness is valid, and the contradictions exist. Not as complaints, just as truth. We're all figuring this out as we go, and maybe that's okay. But yeah, man, that's all I got for today, so I hope y'all enjoyed, and if you can, leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.